Hey, this is MJ, and in today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to make this basic bulky beanie. It's really quick and simple to make. I've used double crochet stitches so it works up really fast, and I've made just a yarn pom-pom. So you'll only need one ball of Wool Ease Thick and Quick. This is Lion Brand yarns, and I'm going to be showing you in gray marble. This one has been made in oatmeal. You'll need a jumbo pom-pom maker if you want to make a big pom-pom this size. And I'm using 2 crochet hooks for this pattern. So I'm using a 9mm, and I'll also be using an 8mm to finish off our band. And these are streamline hooks from Furls Crochet, and I'll have links in the description box on where you can purchase them. So you'll need a yarn needle for super bulky yarn, a pair of scissors, and I've also added a personalized tag to my hat. So I'll be showing you how to make the teen size today, but if you want to click through the link in the description box, it will take you to the blog post and you'll have all sizes that you can follow along with there. So to begin, let's make a magic ring. Wrap the yarn around your index finger 3 times. Take your hook and just slide it through all 3 loops. Take your first loop, grab it with the hook, pull it through, and we'll chain 2. And now we'll work double crochets in our ring. For the teen size, we're going to start out with a total of 10 double crochets in the ring. So to work a double crochet, we're going to yarn over, go through the ring, pulling up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, go through the ring, pulling up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. So work up a total of 10. So once you have your 10 stitches, you can always turn your work and look at your V's to count them around to make sure that you have 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now what I'm going to do is just push my work out of the way just so I can pull this loop tight. So just take your tail. There's the 2 loops. You're going to pull this tail. 1 loop is going to go in. The loop that's pulling in, I want you to now take it and just give it a tug. Pull your tail. And now that is nice and secure and it won't come loose. So now I'm going to show you a little trick for joining, and this is just going to help keep this join invisible. So traditionally, we will go through the top of the double crochet and slip stitch to join. What we're going to do that's a little different is we're going to go in behind. I'm going to keep my yarn to the front here. I'm going to go from back to front, grabbing the yarn and pulling it through. Now I'll chain 2 and I'll work 2 double crochet in that first stitch. So this is now round 2. We'll work 2 double crochet in every stitch around. So we're doubling our stitch count. So I'm going from 10 stitches to 20 stitches. So just working, this is where this pattern will work up so quick because it's double crochets and this is very chunky yarn. Okay, it's a super bulky 6 and it's really on the heavy side. So if you're working with a different yarn, you may get a little bit different results. This yarn tends to work up really big. So just continue working 2 in every stitch around and I'll meet you at the end. Now again, you can count your stitches just to make sure that you have 20. And we'll do another invisible join. So make sure to find that first stitch. You can see the V. And we're going to go, keep our yarn to the front. We're going to go back to front. When we slide through there, we're going to get the yarn, pulling it through, and then we'll chain 2. And we can start the next round. And as you can see, that join is just blending right in so you can barely see it. So the next round, we'll now work a double crochet in the first stitch, And then we'll work 2 into the next. Double crochet in the next stitch, and then 2 into the next. So now the repeat around will be 1 in the next, and then 2 in the next. And you'll just repeat that going all the way around. We're increasing another 10 stitches. So we'll have a total of 30 stitches once you've worked all the way around. Okay, and again, we're going to slip stitch to join, but we're going to go back to front rather than front to back. So I'm just going to keep my yarn to the front, pulling it through, and chain 2. So for this round, we're now going to evenly spread out 4 extra double crochet stitches because I want to increase from 30 to 34 stitches in total. So let's work a double crochet in the first stitch, and we'll do a double crochet in the next 5. Okay, so we should have 6 in total, and then in the 7th, we'll do 2 double crochet. Okay, so work another 6 and then do 2 in the 7th stitch and repeat that pattern around. Okay, I've worked around and now I've done 6, and we will be coming that we have 3 stitches remaining. I'm going to add 2 in that 7th stitch. So then we're going to have 2 stitches remaining, which because 4 doesn't divide evenly, you should have those 2 stitches at the end, which is okay. We'll just work a double crochet in each of them. So now you should be at 34 stitches. We're going to slip stitch to join, going back to front, pull the yarn through, and chain 2. So now that we're at 34 stitches, we have no more increases. We'll just be working a double crochet into every stitch around. And once I've worked around, I'm going to slip stitch to join, chain 2, and now we're just going to continue in rounds until we have our hat length before we start the band. So for my adult here, I've worked a total of 8 rounds. For my smaller child here, I've done a total of 7. So depending on how you want this hat to fit, if you would like it that it's not quite as long, you could go with 7 rounds. But if you'd like that it's maybe just a little bit longer, gives you a little more height at the top, comes really nice down, pull down over your ears, I would say go with 8 rounds, but this you can easily alter if you prefer that your hat's a little bit snugger to the top of your head. So I'm going to go ahead though and do a total of 8 rounds. So I've already done 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need to do 3 more rounds at the 34 stitches. So what I'll do is I will work those rounds off camera, and then I'm going to meet you up to show you how to work that ribbed sort of style band here at the bottom. Okay, so I'm finishing up my 8th round. I'm going to slip stitch to join, chain 2, and I'm going to change over now to the smaller hook. So now I'll work with the smaller hook to complete the band. The band will consist of 3 rounds, and we'll be working front and back post double crochets to create this look. Now, if you prefer, you could do some rounds of single crochet and that would look great too. But if you want this kind of bumpy ribbed look texture, then follow along with what I'm going to show you here. Okay, so for the first round of the band, we're going to work a double crochet in every stitch around. Now remember, this is with the smaller hook. So just work in every stitch around, and then I'll meet you up at the join. Okay, so we'll slip stitch to join once we've worked all the way around. Gonna chain 2. Now you want to find your very first stitch. So this is the chain. This would be our first stitch, and what we're going to do is be working now front post and back post double crochets. So if you're new to this stitch, but you've been able to get the hang of a double crochet, you'll be able to do this too. The difference is now we're working around the post of this stitch. So what you'll do is yarn over, push your hook down under the post of the stitch. We're going to pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and pull through 2. So that is our front post double crochet. Now, as you can see, here's the next stitch. This time we'll be working a back post double crochet. So again, we will yarn over, but we're not going to go from the front around the stitch. We're now going to work from the back around the stitch. So we're going to bring the hook from the back to the front, pushing that post down. So if you look here, we're kind of pulling it up on this side, pulling up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. Now we're going to alternate this. So now we'll do a front post again. So we're going to alternate a front post and a back post. So yarn over, we're going down under the post, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And then let's go over that back post again. Yarn over. Now we're going to go from the back, pushing up, push that post this way. So you're looking now at the wrong side of your work. Yarn over, pulling up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. Okay, so one of your stitches is going to be popping up to the front, and then the other stitches are popping up to the back. And then we just alternate this. So we're going from the back, pushing that post down, yarning over, pulling up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and that's why that first round we worked it just in double crochets, because it will actually pop that up. So as you can see, it really counts as part of our band. So as we work this around, as you can see, this length is pretty good. And if we'd only done 7 rounds, this would sort of be your total length. So you could give this hat a try after this round and sort of see how it fits. But I will go ahead and work another round of the band to give it that little bit of extra length. So I'll continue working my front posts and back posts off camera, and then I will meet you up again at the join. So now as you work around, you should be ending with that back post double crochet. We started with the front post. What I'm going to do now is that invisible join. So I'm going to go into the top of the first front post, join and chain 2. And now what we'll do is one more round. Like I say, you can give this a measure. This would fit your head fairly snug at this point. Sometimes some of the yarns work up a little bit. Like this is almost 8.5 here. 8, my adult is about 8.5. So this almost might be good enough, but I'm gonna go ahead and just work one more round. because even though this is the teen size, this will fit a small adult, which is my head size, so a 21 to 22 inch. And I'm just going to give it a little bit of extra length. So I'm going to go ahead and work around again. Now this round is a little easier because your posts are already established. So we're working around that front post, and then we're working around that back post that's already there. So front post and back post, double crochet. Okay, and just continue working that all the way around. Okay, so I've worked all the way around, ending with the back post. I'm going to slip stitch to join. And at this point, we can fasten off. If you find, again, when you try this fit that you feel that this is too long, then just pull back around is fine. And what you can do is just weave that end, or I can show you alternatively how to do your finishing seamless join. Okay, so pull that yarn back so that it's not joined. And this is just a little trick that I like to use for a really nice seamless finish. So we're going to go under both loops of that first stitch, and then we're going to go through the back loop only of the last stitch. And basically this creates a little faux stitch, and you can just weave that yarn, and you're going to want a nice big needle like this for super bulky yarn. But if you want to test the fit first before you decide on your length, go ahead and do that. Because, as you can see, sometimes between different colors, the yarn comes out. Like my teen size is really looking like more my adult size hat, because maybe the grays worked up a little bit bulkier than the oatmeal, which can tend to happen, but it's still fine if you like your hat to be a little bit loose. So this looks like it's really a lot closer in size to my adult. Okay, so to make your pom-pom, what you're going to do is take out 2 of your arms. You're going to want to make sure you're going around both sides, and we're just going to wrap. We want to just cover up so that there's no blue showing. Depending on how much yarn you have left, too, that might vary how thick you're going to make your pom-pom. If you've made the adult size instead of the teen, you may have a little less yarn left. So I like this pom-pom nice and full, so, and I've got enough yarn here, I think, to fill this up pretty good. Snip that off, fold it in, take your other side, and we're just going to do the same thing here. Just wrap the yarn. So I'll finish that side and meet you, okay? So now what you're going to do is just trim. You're going to go through the grooves of your pom-pom maker. Trim the yarn. And do the other side as well. Okay, so now what we're going to do is take a piece of yarn. You're going to slide that through the grooves of the pom-pom maker. You're going to tie. I like to go twice just because it holds a little bit better. Then we're going to go to the other side. We're going to do the same thing. Okay, and then we need to open it up, pull it apart. Okay, so now we have the tails, and this will be for tying. I like to give it a good shake. It has a pretty good shape on its own. You're just going to have a few little pieces that you may need to trim. But other than that, it's pretty perfect. I highly suggest a pom-pom maker if you don't have one. Makes it so much easier. And you can just clean up any mess from making the pom-pom. And then we can just put this on the top. So what I like to do is just take my crochet hook to pull the yarn through. Go on this side, just try to get it on there so that you're going to be tying this nice and even. And then you can tie this to the inside of the hat. Of course, you can also use a faux fur pom-pom for these. I just thought I'd show you using just the one ball of yarn to make the complete hat. I have these rivets, and you do need to hammer these on just for the video. I'm just going to snap in place. All you do is use, I have, mine came with the kit, so you have this and this to place on, and then you need to take a hammer and hammer them just to make sure that they stay together. Okay. So there's your hat. This is how quick and easy this bulky beanie is to make. It's basic and simple, but if you need a quick, easy hat, or you're just learning to crochet, you could add a big button or anything to this to kind of dress it up. But other than that, it's just a nice, simple, basic beanie. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and tap the bell to stay updated on all my new videos and tutorials.